Hello fellas, new ship review format effective today. It's just a slideshow with a template, easier for me to mass produce. To keep these short, I will give up some things, but here is the outline. The first section, overview, is like how good the ship is and a bit of everything. Technically you can bail out after watching the overview, but I would hope that you're on my channel to get good, so the other sections would be helpful too. Tier list compares the ship to similar ships in endgame contexts. The worth section attempts to make the recommendation of whether you should use this ship. The fleet and gear section shows one or more example setups, with an emphasis on example. The hidden stats section, which may or may not exist, would point out some interesting hidden stats that affect the ship's performance. And finally, barrages will have a barrage animation or recording, so I will prefer my own animations if they're correct, since they're cleaner than the in-game battle and also available earlier. The only downside is that sometimes the bullet model will be just an ugly, solid colored rectangle, but it has a silver lining that the rectangle accurately represents the size of the bullet's hitbox. I will not go over the ship's stats and skills because you can find that in the data mine, or wiki, or database, or other YouTube videos that say generic things or are outright wrong. Whether I, myself, am trustworthy, you can judge for yourself. For example, I did auto-lethal 15-4 with purple and blue gear only, while others with stronger accounts had to manual with their full gold and rainbow gear. So that's the introduction for my new ship reviews. Now let's move on to U-552. U-552, make Wolfpack great again, ? She is the highest damage Ironblood submarine against bosses. She requires Wolfpack. You should put her in the flagship spot until a better flag wolf kicks her to the top or bottom. And very important, do not use her in campaign. 10 seconds of surface time at the start will kill her within a few mob battles, or even one mob battle. Against Hard Arbiter or Challenge mode, she survives just fine, so really good there. And there's no other content, or endgame content, that allows you to use subs. So overall, she raises the ceiling of the Wolfpack by a little on all armor types, but Wolfpack is still worse than Fishpack by about 10%, and it's still similar to the solo subs. Speaking of the best Fishpack and the best solo subs, here's the tier list. I put her similar to the other top tier gold Wolfpack submarines, except that in challenge mode, she goes from A to S tier. But it's more like the other subs are at the top of A tier and she's at the bottom of S tier. And in campaign, she's a no-go, so C tier. And damage-wise, it's on a scale of 1 to 5, so it's hard to distinguish, but she does have the best damage of all of them. Now, is this submarine worth? So if you're new and you don't have her yet, well, save your cubes for UR banners. This banner just has U-552 and Admiral Zenker. And Zenker is one of the best gold battleships, but battleships gold, rainbow, you know. And if you do have U-552, then like as a new player, you should not invest in submarines. You save them for later when you actually need them and can afford them. For endgame players, Fishpack is still 10% better than Wolfpack, even after U-552 is here. But if you do use Wolfpack, then you should use U-552. And example fleet, so basically it's U-552 in the flagship position plus any two of 96, 101, or 81. And U-81 would use the same gear as 96 here, like snorkel and pressure hull, while U-552 uses an oxytorp instead of a snorkel. And the DD gun is somewhat more important than for the other submarines because she does have 10 seconds where she can be firing her gun. Okay, hidden stats. So you might be thinking that 10 seconds of extra surface times means that she effectively has plus 100 oxygen, right? But no, because this is how generally submarine states work. They swim into position, and then they start firing torpedoes. Then they run out of oxygen and surface, and fight on the surface for 5 seconds, firing both guns and torpedoes, and then they retreat left. However, U-552 only surfaces for 1 second, not the 5 seconds, and this is a separate matter from the plus 100% speed when retreating mentioned in her skill, so nowhere in her skills does it mention that she only surfaces for 1 second, and that's a hidden stat. So basically she has plus 60 oxygen, like plus 100 from the 10 seconds, and minus 40 from the 4 seconds lost here. Plus 60 oxygen is enough for her to prefer oxytorp over snorkel, even though she doesn't have any reload boost.